Summer is the season for finding ways to spend our time outdoors. That often necessitates a road trip to sunny destinations. We load up our cars along with our podcasts and playlists, and we drive off to visit friends and family and the sights that our beautiful country has to offer. It sounds peaceful just to say it out loud. But let's face it, if you spend enough time in the car these months, you're bound to become either the recipient or the perpetrator of road rage. It can often be the result of common annoyances like a car cutting you off, merging in front of you at the last minute. There are horns honked impatiently when someone doesn't instantaneously drive at the sight of a green light. And of course, there's that less than friendly hand gesture that sometimes finds its way outside of the driver's seat window. A recent AAA study revealed that almost 90% of all drivers have experienced extreme anger, aggression, or road rage while driving, and about 78% of drivers admit to engaging in aggressive behavior themselves. In a car, there's that perceived level of anonymity. Drivers may feel entitled to behave poorly because once that car passes, the exchange is over, hopefully. It seems to me that road rage has become almost an expected part of commuting, where anger and frustration are allowed to be expressed without dramatic consequence. Though I would submit that this sort of behavior steadily grinds us down over time and wears away at our own civility. A slow-moving but dramatic consequence nonetheless. Is it possible that behavior in general is trending negatively? Is our society becoming angrier on the whole? Look what happened when outrage fueled an attack on democracy. According to the Washington Post, the majority of the roughly 650 people federally charged in the attack on the Capitol building were not part of a far-right group or a premeditated conspiracy group. Most were everyday Americans, including community leaders and small business owners. One man who worked in elder care, had a master's degree in business administration, was the son of a Navy captain. He ripped the badge and radio right off a police officer's uniform and physically assaulted that same officer repeatedly. A 59-year-old fitness trainer who had never been in trouble with the law was sentenced to jail time and several years of probation. In her words, taken from a video she shot immediately after the riot, "We broke into the Capitol, we got inside, and we did our part. We were looking for Nancy Pelosi to shoot her bleep brain." I mean, what is responsible for the transformation in temperament we're seeing across our country? Brian Levin, director of the Center of the Study of Hate and Extremism at CSU, claims that in the right circumstances, even those with weak attachment to extremist views can become violent, especially in a group where responsibility becomes diffused. Even among our most revered leaders, rage has found a way to prevail. Consider this: Moses, a wise and measured leader, wasn't always, especially not in this week's Torah portion. Here we find the tribe leaders of the Reubenites and the Gadites. They approached Moses during the critical months before the battle of the land of Israel and plead with him to settle the conquered lands on the eastern side of the Jordan River. "Favor us by giving us this land," they beg. "Do not move us across the Jordan." Assuming that the tribe leaders are looking for personal gain and to avoid serving in the military, Moses flies off his biblical handle. Without so much as a moment of contemplation, he decides he's been betrayed and angrily accuses the leaders of behaving treasonously like their ancestors. He even calls the tribesmen a band of sinners. Nachmanides, a medieval Jewish scholar, interprets this exchange as the two tribes coming with a request, not seeking a confrontation. Their petition was not made in vain, but rather in the best interest of all of the Israelites. Had Moses taken the time to listen instead of instantly condemning them, their benevolent aspirations would have been quite clear. Wrath is dangerous and not just emotionally. Dr. Chris Aiken, an instructor in clinical psychiatry at Wake Forest University School of Medicine, suggests that an angry outburst can dramatically negatively affect our cardiac health. In fact, in the 2 hours following an angry outburst, your chance of having a heart attack doubles and your risk of having a stroke is 3 times higher. And if that's not dangerous enough, irascible people are also more likely to be sick in general. One Harvard University study concludes that enraging experiences cause a 6-hour dip in our levels of immunoglobulin A, an antibody used by the immune system to identify and naturalize bacteria and viruses. And to top it all off, people who are regularly and easily infuriated often have reduced lung capacity and shorter lifespans. Reish Lakish, a 3rd century Talmudic scholar, said, "When a man becomes angry, if he is a sage, his wisdom departs from him. And if he is a prophet, his prophecy departs from him." And Bar Kapara, a rabbi of the late 2nd century, taught, "A man who is bad-tempered achieves nothing but his bad temper." My friends, the healing of a society begins with one healthy mind and heart at a time. It's been a tough couple of years, and most of us are more on edge than we might otherwise be. So my hope on this Shabbat is that each of us finds some time for introspection. I invite us to find that which provokes our outrage and challenge us to notice and correct these responses as they occur. Our tradition deeply encourages personal change and growth. This is especially obvious in our upcoming high holiday liturgy, but it is also obvious in our day-to-day prayer. Psalm 51 asks God to heal our bodies, our minds, and our hearts through forgiveness and introspection. It also suggests that by connecting to our tradition and our Creator, we can wake up daily to a world more filled with light, more filled with love. And so I yearn for all of us to experience that. And I wish us all a Sabbath filled with peace. Shabbat Shalom. a pure heart within me, and let my soul wake up to your light. Open me to your presence. Flood me with your Holy Spirit. Create a pure heart within me, and let my soul wake up in your light. Open me to your presence. Flood me with your Holy Spirit, and I will stand and sing out the power of your forgiveness. And I will teach your love to the lonely, and the lost will find their way home. Stand and sing out the power of your forgiveness, and I will teach your love to the lonely, and the lost will find their way home. Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Ufiagi Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, and your mouth may declare your praise. And your mouth may declare your